This is the tale of a man who has yet to realize his destiny.
Really? Every time I read, every fucking time I read this on a like someone just took their penis and fucking just pissed on the internet, and then like that piss took like a form and a shape and that became a webcomic, and that's you. Fuck both of you. Fuck your dumb tits and fuck your dumb
is it this time?
No, I'm out. I can't. Oh, fuck. I can't do this. This comic will be the death of me.
Come on, stop your fucking... We've been over this.
No, I'm throwing the towel in. I can't. This is just too much. This is the worst. It is the worst comic I have ever read.
And this comic is the shit, man, the fuck up. Like what, you're just gonna stop now? Don't you have any idea what kind of expectations people have to you? Like fucking, come on, look at this, come on. Okay, I'm never gonna do this again. This is a one-time thing. But seeing that this is Las Lindas and, you know, desperate times and all that, fuck you, listen up. You have almost 2,000 subscribers. 2,000 people who think that you're kind of a cool guy, even though you're not, by the way. And then you have these amazing people who just decided to send you shit. You have Luke McKay, the awesome guy behind Balls to Death and who makes the Rooster Teeth go, you like Rooster Teeth, you're a fucking huge Rooster Teeth nerd. And then you have like UberQuest, like fucking just start sending you food along with their awesome comic. Like fucking you and the fucking people, I don't know what American fucking peanut butter is. Fuck you. Oh no, the comic is bad. Then you have fucking Dreamkeepers who are like the fucking pinnacle of your fucking webcomic thing, who also just decides to send you your favorite character of all time. And then you got fucking Skip and Sidgwick keeping the pink magic dream alive, motherfucker. And you're going to sit here and just bitch and whine about this comic being bad and then you suddenly can't do it?
I guess you're right.
And just all the people who in general are just there for you. All your patrons. All the people who send you fan mail. All the people who do fan drawings for you. All the people who just do weird shit for you. Like getting the voice actor for Talk to give you a shout out. You have a billion people, or 2,000 awesome people who are just there for you. So quit your bitching and do your fucking job.
Suppose I owe it to people to, you know, go through with it, but I just really don't want to.
Also, this entire next segment is all about Alejandra.
Really? The next part is all about Alejandra? Well, that can't be too bad. I mean, like, Alejandra and Rachel are the only thing keeping this fucking thing above water. Okay, fine, yeah, let's do it. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Why are you smiling like that? Stop smiling. Seriously, man, stop smiling.
I have found the main problem with Las Lindas, and it's not what you might think. It's not the poor characters or the poor writing. It's not the art, nor is it the things that makes no sense. The main problem with this comic is that it is written by some immature fucks who can't differentiate love and sex. Think about it. Minos and Mora are together because Mora wanted to bang Minos, and thus it's the same as love. Taffy didn't want to bang Miles, and so they broke up because Miles didn't feel loved. And Miles is so sad and whiny all the time because no one loves him, because no one wants to fuck him. All this comic's main issues are solved if you simply get the childish point of view that sex and love are the same thing. And it's not! It's the icing on the cake. You ask any married couple if they got together only cause they wanted to fuck, and they'll tell you, no! Sure, sex is a great way to solidify one's affection for someone, but it's not a synonym to love. It's like tennis. What? You're gonna dump the girl or boy of your dreams just cause he or she doesn't want to play tennis with you? No! That's retarded! I really hope I can touch the people who read this comic and are actually getting this impression with this comment. Sex isn't the same as love. Don't let this bullshit comic tell you that. And I say it like that cause I imagine it only being children who hasn't developed critical thinking that would actually like this comic. A thing that also drives me up the fucking wall is that if we just look at Catbox, the site that is hosting Las Lindas, you only have to move your cursor down a little and you'll click on a comic that's far better in almost every regard than Las Lindas. Or you can move it somewhat to the right and you'll find UberQuest, who fucking knocks the ball right out of the fucking park. You really don't have to settle with Las Lindas. There are much better furry webcomics out there. And heck, they are right fucking there. It's like Eddie Izzard's cake or death scenario, only here people are willingly choosing death for some odd reason.
Cake or death? Cake, please. Very well.
So, let me remind you guys real quick that Alejandra here is supposed to be this comic's main antagonist. You know, the villain, the evil businesswoman. And you are more or less supposed to watch this scene here to this kind of music. You know, like she's hatching a massive revenge plot against Mora or something. But, really? What should be played is something like this. Because think about it, Mora has done nothing but shit all over Alejandra. She has taken away the award she prided herself with by cheating in a competition, and one of Mora's friends, Edward, has publicly embarrassed Alejandra in front of the entire festival, which has now resulted in her business declining drastically. Furthermore, we only know that Alejandra is supposed to be an antagonist because of how our protagonist reacts to her, and Alejandra falls into the trope of the rich, evil businesswoman, when she hasn't done anything to be characterized as a villain. She slapped Mora after being punched herself, and she just happened to have a rapist working for her. And when Mora lost her farm, she just tried to buy the property right then and there. That's all she has really done that could be considered as villainous acts. So, will someone, please, for the love of Christ, remind me why we are supposed to root for Mora? I mean, even if you're super large with what can be considered villainous acts, this is how the comparison charts ends up looking. But oh no, whoops, my bad, this is a totally good comic. Let me just chalk that up there with Jackie Diaz not being a tracer, Christian Weston Chandler knowing everything about copyright laws, and Andrew Dobson being a super cool guy when it comes to commenting his work. So Alejandra replays a recording of Deus Ex Machina explaining how she's giving a nanocell spirit to her because of how big a pro-dog she is. She follows up with saying how a nanocell spirit can't be purchased. No amount of wealth or renown qualifies someone for the gift. Fucking this! Why? She's just a doctor lady! The fuck has she done to earn herself one? Alejandra has worked hard and dedicated her entire life to put up one of the seemingly biggest dairy companies in the world. And then there's this doctor chick, or even worse, fucking Mora! You know, the woman who up to that point had seduced people, blackmailed people, abused people, and broken several laws. Sure, she's a perfect fucking fit for a nanocell spirit, isn't she? And on that tangent, is that part of every freaking god's duties? To give out nanocell spirits? When we saw Mora get it, we assumed it was special, but seeing how many are getting one now, we can only assume that it's pretty normal, and the freaking gods are now handing them out like they're fucking cupcakes. And if that's not the case, then that's simply not the impression you get as a reader of this comic, and that's a fault of these guys as authors. The next day we see Rachel waking up and is doing push-ups in nothing but a top and a pair of panties. What? You don't train in nothing but your underwear? And we are also treated to this sentence. No, I'm not beaten. If Mora touches me again, I'll make hamburger out of the bitch. So, from this we can assume that hamburger is a normal dish in this universe. And when it's used in relation to the fact that Mora is a cow, then that would indicate that you can technically use Mora and all the other cow people as a form of meat for hamburgers. In other words,
Silent breed is people!
During my rant, Rachel has set course over to start working with, or rather for, Miles in maintenance, as instructed by Mora. She quickly finds out, however, that Miles is, surprise surprise, doing absolutely jack shit on the farm, and after giving Rachel an orientation that takes less than 2 minutes, he says how he is off to watch a movie and asks Rachel to tag along. Rachel protests until Miles says the following. What? You love Mora so much that you're going to get down and dirty for her right away?
In a world like this with so many animals, you gotta ask yourself, where the fuck is this guy when you need him?
Who lives in the east neath the willow tree? Sexual harassment, tender.
We move back to Alejandra, who wakes up and is instantly mopey. She inner monologues to herself that Deus Ex Machina and Mora are conspiring against her, which they totally are, and questions the intention with getting her own Nanoel spirit. She is then supposed to get angry and hurl the crystal thing at the mirror. However, we can only assume she is supposed to be angry from this text and her actions, but when we look at her, does this look like someone who's angry? Also, Tootsie is observing all of this in secret. How long has she been standing there? It's not like Alejandra monologued out loud and the only thing she said out loud was, "Oh, come on." But alas, I'm nitpicking. Instead, let's focus on the fact that while arguing about the dairy farm's future, Alejandra is now so frustrated with everything that she ends up pointing her rifle at Tootsie.
Come on! Do it! Shoot her! Fucking shoot her!
You can do it!
But alas, nothing happens. We move on to Miles and Rachel, who are out driving. Miles more or less states that seeing they both hate Mora and Rachel stuck it to her, that he now has a far better liking of her than before, and compliments her on her actions. Because the writers have once watched an anime or two, Rachel takes to this by harming Miles in some way or another, and says that she's on to him. We then move on to Digit and Era, the Dr. Lady's nanocell, who are training or something, and Era seems to want to train Digit in the arts of teleportation. Funny is seeing, I don't know, Digit already teleported them to the festival! And not only herself, but the entire fucking group, and without a single fuck up. What the fuck would she be needing training?
But no, I'm super wrong, right? This comic is super good, right?
So, Digit teleports her and Era to outer space, and Digit seems to get sick from this. How can a robot thing get sick? And while she's holding her mouth, is she gonna throw up? What could she possibly throw up? Does Digit eat? What does she eat? If she eat, does she have other needs? Does Digit shit? And while we are talking about shit, how about Digit's router? What was the purpose of setting that up on the farm if she can just move this far away from it? Wouldn't it be better to have one big mega server somewhere? Speaking of which, did they ever get a new one? Is that why Digit can now go to space? If so, why didn't they install that version to begin with? Was it not out yet? Was it more expensive? Are someone producing it as we speak? Does those things have a price, seeing the gods give them to people? If gods give that stuff to people, how come there are doctors to fix them? Shouldn't the technology just work if it's godly creations? And if they are in outer space, how can they hear each other? Are they talking through some mechanical shit that doesn't depend on sound? If so, why are they moving their mouths? Why is Digit credited as a resident spirit in the cast section of the Las Lindas page, when she can easily move far away from the farm? What about Era? We've only ever seen her move around, so can we assume that whatever the router is placed is not important? If that's the case, what does the router do? Is it like a charging stand? If so, what happens if they don't get charged? Would they die? How can a machine die? Are they more magical creatures than technological creatures? If so, why are they trying to explain things with science? couldn't Era and Digit technically just take the router with them to wherever they go like a backpack? If not, why not? If yes, why don't they do that? If they are delicate representations of someone's soul, shouldn't they technically be close to what they're reflecting? What dictates who they're reflecting? And is this permanent? Again, not pointing any fingers here, but it's almost like that this is stuff that could have been answered by now if these writers weren't total garbage. Insisting on having nothing happening, this comic once more jumps, this time to Alejandra and Tootsie. Alejandra stops a business deal on the phone to take Tootsie over and talks with her privately, telling her she can't do this without her, and letting her know how valuable an asset she has been to the creation of the Dairy Empire. Let me remind you again, this right here is supposed to be our villain. Anyway, apparently Alejandra is creating some new kind of juice called grape juice that some woman gives Rachel and Miles a free sample of. I'm just gonna save my currently in a rant about how I am calling all the bullshit on Alejandra having made a new branded juice and already have it ready for distribution in this short span of time. We move on to Rachel and Miles spectating at a fight in the local fighting arena where we again see 2 nanocells. Anyway, after the fight, Miles manages to get the victor's headband. I guess the fighter just happened to hear him over everyone else because he's the furry avatar of one of the writers. Also, if you can't see where this is going, you are the blind, deaf, or stupid, or all of the above. On the way back, Miles and Rachel find out that a convoy of trucks are driving towards the farm. How they know that they are taking the neighbor's lot next to Las Lindas and not just continue past it, or are actually heading to the farm, is an excellent question. So of course it's not answered. They also spot Tootsie and immediately become alarmed. They get back to the farm and contemplate whether or not to tell their new findings to Mora, who walks up behind them and asks them to give her one good reason why she keeps paying those 2. Mora, you don't pay them. You don't. Miles' pay is going to Taffy, and Rachel is paying off the food she and Sarah spoiled. A negotiation for them getting paid may have happened in the meantime, but unless you tell or show us, how are we supposed to know? Also, just real quick, before we move on, can we take a moment to address this neck? Is that why her breasts keep increasing in size? Because they are actively sucking the fat and stuff out of her neck? Actually, at this point, I'm pretty certain Mora's breasts are a pair of overgrowing parasites. Anyway, Mora, Rachel and Miles go back and forth about what they saw, while Tootsie and her robot are causing havoc in the background, which eventually ends up in a mushroom cloud explosion. I get that Tootsie is clearing the area so they can build there, but a fucking mushroom cloud explosion will only serve to ruin the area, especially if you're trying to make a farm, and it will also cause a huge crater. Mora confronts Tootsie, who refuses to talk to her. To get her to talk with her, she then pulls the entire robot down! Let's try that one again. Mora, a cow lady with minimal effort, manages to pull down a robot that seems to be specifically made to clear areas for construction and has been seen in the background chopping down several trees with one swoop, and she's doing this without a firm hold of anything too, I might add. Bullshit? All of the bullshit? Let me find my phone so I can call bullshit. At this point, I think I got bullshit on speed dial. No! The woman who got overpowered by one guy earlier can now suddenly move a several tons heavy machine. With this strength, how come Alejandra wasn't just a fucking stain after Mora punched her way back when? Speaking of Alejandra, guess who walks up to greet our dear Mary Moo? It's Alejandra, donning a coat and a scarf. You know, at the same day where several people have been seen in shorts, t-shirts, tank tops and whatnot. It's clearly hot outside, so why would she wear a coat? I suppose it looks more evil, and it's not like these writers could actually write a good villain, so it's up to Cello to draw it. Never mind that, as Randall walks up, recognizing Alejandra and asks if they are fighting again, just like back in the days. You know, the time period that Mora and Alejandra seemingly forgot when they first met each other. So Randall comes in and it's clear from frame 1 that Alejandra has the hots for him. He goes on to take Alejandra up to Mora's mother, Diana's grave. After learning that Diana is resting up on that hill, Alejandra cancels the operation, saying it cost more than she expected. This is another really good scene, and it further cements the fact that Alejandra is a more likable character than Mora could ever hope to be, because we see how much Alejandra is willing to give up to preserve Diana's memory, while Mora, on the other hand, seems to have been in a hurry to get the fuck out of there and not be there during Diana's last moments.
Don't call me unfair. If this comic gives me something to compliment, I'll compliment it. Think about that while you remember how few times I have managed to actually compliment this fucking comic!
So Alejandra returns and Tootsie is questioning frantically about why they have halted the project. That's when this guy walks up and says that the board is wondering the same thing. How the fuck would they know? It literally just happened. Anyway, the board are questioning Alejandra's actions and says that if it's necessary, they'll appoint a new acting CEO. I'm sorry, did I misread it when I read that Alejandra built this company by herself? Isn't she, like, the big dick pro dog in the firm? Who the fuck are these chumps? If they are above Alejandra, shouldn't they be the ones at the festival to receive the festival prize? Anyway, Alejandra acts like the boss that she is and calls the board on their bullshit and says she'll continue with her plans, just without fucking up the grave, including the sentence, "I've survived poverty, I've survived the corruption of my predecessors, and I will survive you!" and then storms off. Did she accomplish anything with this? Let me return to that sentence again. I have survived poverty. That's a bold-faced lie. Seeing earlier, Mora stated outright that Alejandra's family was wealthy. She also lies about the whole predecessors thing, as Alejandra herself states earlier that she inherited her farm from her dad, who only had a small piece of land and a few cows.
Gee, it's almost like that these guys are just coming up with shit on the fly, isn't it?
Tootsie goes out to get the plants and Alejandra walks into her office where she finds the nanocell crystal on her desk and she then exclaims that it has awoken. Wait, what? Was this an issue? Hold on. No, nothing. What? So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a resolution to a problem we didn't even know we had. 'Cause that's good storytelling.
I fucking hate this comic so fucking much. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god!
Back at the farm, Mora and Randall are talking. Randall proposes coming up with a plan because the chances of them being able to clutch it out forever with luck is slim to none. Randall proposes discussing this while taking a walk, to which Mora replies, "Puppy dog needs his walkies? I'll get the leash." This just goes to show even further that these characters are fully aware of the actual animals they are a furry form of, and as such, punching the comic further in the kidney.
If you wanna know why, look up video 2 in the series.
So we finally hear why Mora left her dying mother, and it was to find her dad. She furthermore explains that her mother had been selling the farm piece by piece to her dad, and she used that information to try and track him down. Whether or not she found him is not explained, cause who cares about such a small little detail, am I right? No, instead she chews out Randall for asking questions. Again, let me remind you, this is the villain we're supposed to boo at, and this is supposed to be the hero we're supposed to cheer for!
Hey, Soulcat, people are starting to notice how absolute shit our characters are, and like, finding 1,000,000,002 plot holes. Should we maybe, start working on that? Or should we, cover it up in some way or another?
Fuck it.
Because it's been a while since we last had some fan service, we move inside where Mora has obviously stripped down a little, is drunk, and is basically telling Minos that she wants to fuck. At this point, that no longer surprises me. When Minos declines her, Mora says, "Fine by me, brief breath." So, either she's insinuating that Minos stinks of Mora's pussy out of his mouth, or she can smell that he has devoured the meat of other cow bull people. I don't know which one I find most disgusting, to be perfectly honest. While Mora is making an ass out of herself while drunk off her 2 massively huge parasites, Taffy asks Randall to help her with the dishes. However, this is all but a ploy to sit Randall down, bribe him with cake, and make him explain what is going on, which he then does. Let me remind you, Mora said she would only tell him and they were out in the field so no one would hear them. In other words, this was a secret, and not even a day passes before Randall spills the beans to Taffy. The stupidity continues as Randall explains how Mora and Alejandra lived together and were basically like sisters. This contradicts how Alejandra and Mora interacted when they first met each other in the comic, and even more so with what Mora explains to Rachel and Sarah earlier in the comic of how they know each other, where she says she was the only person at the same age around and therefore they stuck together. I know I keep saying that you are entitled to your own opinion when it comes to this comic, and if you want to think that this is well written, then you're free to think so. Just please know that you're wrong. Taffy and Randall flirts a little before they head off to bed. The next day, however, we move to Rachel and Miles, who seems to be out catching Pokemon. Also a very heartfelt fuck you to you too comic. No, actually, they are out to find the plane that Miles stumbled across and move it from there to the farm. This is done immediately after talking about them worrying that Mora will find out they have gone out again. You guys don't think that, I don't know, the sudden appearance of a motherfucking plane will kind of hint that you've done something other than actual farm work, you fucking retarded idiots. Also, as Rachel states, the farm is over a mile away, and it's in the middle of a forest. A plane like that doesn't exactly have foldable wings, but I suppose if they all have super unnatural strength like Mora, they can just easily move it. To all of you defending this comic, there's only so much dumb shit that you can overlook, and I hope we're about reaching the point where you'll go, yeah, this comic is bullshit. It seems Miles has realized how shit his plan is, as instead of physically moving the plane, he's instead going to fix it up then and there. Then why the fuck did he bring Rachel? Wouldn't it be better to have her stay on the farm, and if Mora then comes by, she'd be able to cover at him saying he's out taking a shit or something? Anyway, Miles and Rachel have a little heart-to-heart, and I'm sure you guys can guess where this is going. Yes, they're getting a little closer until Miles says something stupid and Rachel threatens to kick his ass. You know, just as it has been every fucking time they've talked up till now. They talk and Miles mentions the idea of having Rachel fighting in the arena, and that's basically all we get from this scene. We then move on to Alejandra's farm where the wolf Vincent is waiting for Tootsie and they start talking about Alejandra. I gotta be honest, it's pretty nice that we are focusing so much on Alejandra lately. This, however, immediately changed when for some odd reason the only person Vincent is now interested in is Mora. A person he has never fucking met!
Gee, I hope that preacher gets here soon so I can marry Sue!
Vincent, as well as the rest of the board, thinks that Alejandra has gone insane. And not just, oh my god, the lack of content in Destiny is insane. No, I mean really insane. And why? Sure, her tactics and spending choices thus far has been less than stellar, but that doesn't fucking mean you're insane. That means you're stressed. But we've already seen what these guys think is drama, so this is now what they think insanity is. They talk about how Mora seems to be centered around every decision Alejandra has made lately, and seriously, how are they able to establish a pattern already? She wanted to make a deal with Mora, and failing that, she went to buy the lot once it was made available, and then she lost to Mora at the farm festival. See, even the comic is now straight up denying that it was even a tie. And wait! And the last I heard about her, she beat Alexandria at last year's Harvest Festival. You mean she beat you at the last year's farm festival? Seriously, how the fuck does this company work? Alejandra took over the farm from her dad, which was only a few acres of land and a few cows. I mean, think about it. Who the fuck hired these guys? Vincent, not getting the answers he wanted, decides to give Alejandra a sick leave of 2 weeks for her to sort her shit out. He, however, states that this is only a temporary solution and asks Tootsie why that is, who then replies that they are in the red as long as they have the land. Then fucking downscale! If you want that land so badly but you're losing money, sell some of your existing land! For hardcore business people, these guys don't know a fucking thing about business. It's almost like no thought nor research went into this comic. So Tootsie gets in her car and drives like a madman to reach Alejandra before something. Also, couldn't this have been done over the phone if she was in that big of a rush? And what is the rush? She has 2 weeks of sick leave. Those 10 minutes, you may say, by driving like a complete psycho isn't gonna make much of a difference. Whoa, wait, hold up, whoa! There it is. A dog. The first actual animal we've seen in this comic thus far. I've banged on long enough about animals and these furries coexisting for this video, but this fucking little shit raises more questions than it answers. Anyway, Tootsie is panicking about what to do. Should she trust that Alejandra knows what she's doing, or should she doubt her and think she has indeed lost her mind? It's almost like this entire issue could be solved by just talking to Alejandra instead of panicking. I can't believe that solution keeps escaping these writers. I mean, seriously. Tootsie crashes in the river and shows up at Alejandra's door. Apparently, Alejandra already knows that she is on sick leave. It's almost like a phone call did the job nicely, isn't it? Alejandra immediately starts talking about business, and Tootsie says she can't do anything while on sick leave. Actually, you can! Heck, sometimes it's even half expected of someone to do some work on sick leave. Anyway, Tootsie balls up and tells Alejandra that she doesn't want to see Alejandra throw her life away just out of hate against Mora, and even goes as far as to take Vincent's side. So now even Alejandra's best friend is turning against her. Remind me who the villain is. Okay, I know we've had our laughs over me taking Alejandra's side, but really, come the fuck on. This should be the protagonist. This is a character that faces adversity and betrayal. We know what drives her, we know what her goal is, even if it's super silly. But no! By all means, let's root for the woman who wants to keep her parents' farm because she... I don't know. I mean, she's clearly several times stated she doesn't like the farm work, and if it's because of her family, why not close down the farm and do something else? Like a cafe or a barbershop or fuck, even a brothel at this point. This comic is coming apart so easily if you just nudge it that I don't even want to know what the white sticky stuff is that holds it together, cause it's sure as fuck not glue! For fuck's... So Tootsie and Alejandra talk about how they built this company together! Meaning it's independent. It's these two who calls the shot. Who the fuck is this committee? And how are they connected to the farm? If it's a huge important plot point, maybe you should try explaining it some! This is gonna annoy the shit out of me in the future. Guess I'll just have to add it to the list. And that was for video 2, I think it was. Alejandra and Tootsie go back and forth, and Alejandra, you do know you can wear your nightgown properly, right? Unless you're trying to seduce Tootsie. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me. But hey, by all means, don't hold back on the needless fanservice on my part. Or, well, I say needless, but truth is, this comic would be but a fucking virus on the net if not for the fanservice. Now it's just a virus on the net with tits. So, because we can't have Alejandra act like herself and actually listen to Tootsie as the one voice of reason that we've clearly seen her value more than anyone else, she instead goes straight to calling
Betrayal! What? Betrayal!
And more or less tells Tootsie to fuck off. And she does, leaving Alejandra to wallow in her own misery. Comic, you had a good thing going here. You had a villain that the reader with a little common sense would side with against Mora. You had someone we could relate to. So why the fuck do you insist on ruining that for yourself? Believe it or not, I am trying to like you. I am. So stop removing the things I can defend you with. At this point, the only thing I can defend you with is Rachel. So with that, let me just leave you with one last thing.
The king has returned.
foes, you can't slip my blows. I'm on a comeback. It took out all the enhancements. Stand with the glow, I'm the champ that the fans did. Hard, rugged, star-studded and mighty, and leaving you all bloody and making your face look like jab. Hook, uppercut, feel my flow and it impacts up your gut. You wanna try to beat the champ, you ain't tough enough. Stick and move, do your best, and I count a punch. Man, I make with precision, aim, get into your brain. Cause I train with the wisdom, gain vision through the pain. I will bang through the system, save vicious in the game. And I'm back forever, you can't stop my reign.
For better or worse, I'm back. It's good to be back, people. This episode is sponsored by a bunch of amazing people once again. And we actually have a lot of new people here this time. First of all, we have CloudyDaze. CloudyDaze makes a lot of awesome small little pixel art videos. Try and Google his name as it's written here on the screen. And I'm pretty sure that you'll find something that is really, really fun. Like, I've watched them through and they're cute, and it's actually impressive how much you can get out of like just these small little sprites. The next up is Scott Fraser, also known as Sukotto, I think it is. I'm not entirely sure of how it's pronounced. Scott has Star Warriors, which is a very interesting webcomic that I have been following pretty closely, actually. He also made a awesome webcomic about Five Nights at Freddy's. You should go check that out as well. It's very creative, and I gotta say that Scott really impressed me with like what he had more than just, you know, his normal comic. Next up we have the amazing Skidd, oh, just Skidd, from the amazing webcomic called UberQuest. Really, if you haven't checked this out yet, well, as I said here in the video, you should. Like, it's arguably the best thing that you can find on Catbox. Next up we have Alix J. Alix J has Death's My Bitch, the workplace humor but with drama within it about the whole life after death. And I gotta say, like, she seems to know what she's doing. Like, she really knows that you can't have this death thing and then just have it be a one-off. Like, she pretty much just does what I said it should be in the Jack review. So, really cool comic, and she finally got some new nibs for her pen for her tablet, so it's on the way again. And then we have Shane Asher, who is again working on The Strays. It's turning out to be more and more of a superhero comic, and really I think that we need more of those. We need more of those webcomic superhero comics. Most of the people want to tell a gritty story or show cow tits or stuff. Not enough people want to tell like a superhero story, and I, like, maybe I'm just like a small little kid, but I really love superhero stories. Then we have ThatLeaf, yo man, ThatLeaf, yo. And then we have, you know who, David Lillie. So, by all means, go check these guys out. Like, they have been really awesome to support this show. And if you want to support this show, you can do so on the Patreon. Just go to www.patreon.com/Riiser. You can pledge any amount of money that you want. You don't have to, the show will continue anyway. But if you do, there'll be cool stuff with it. I can't talk. There'll be cool stuff within it for you, and you'll get shoutouts here at the end of the video. I'll sit down and talk with you, all that good stuff. So if you're interested, just go down. And thank you for sponsoring the show. I'll see you guys in the next webcomic release. Take care.